I believe in this country, the United States of America, not just as it stands, but for what it could be, and for what the American dream represents, and what it can and should represent in the future. 1 year ago, in response to the State of the Union, I wished the President well in his endeavors, despite that I did not vote for him. I hoped, as many did, that our country would become more prosperous, more powerful, more safe, and more great than it has ever been. Despite the words that our President has stated, the prices of groceries, rent, and goods have increased. We are actively involved in more conflicts, not less, and our economy has never been in worse shape for the average American. Greed has ravaged this country, and the only minorities that are stealing your jobs and your money are the billionaires. 1 year ago, in response to the State of the Union, I wished the President well in his endeavors, despite that I did not vote for him. I hoped, as many did, that our country would become more prosperous, more powerful, more safe, and more great than it has ever been. Despite the words that our President has stated, the prices of groceries, rent, and goods have increased. We are actively involved in more conflicts, not less, and our economy has never been in worse shape for the average American. Greed has ravaged this country, and the only minorities that are stealing your jobs and your money are the billionaires. Our President lies repeatedly, just hoping that it starts to become true if he says it long enough. Numerous details about his personal life aside, it has become truly evident that the greatest threat to freedom and the American way of life is the President of the United States himself. And those in Congress that are also willingly complicit, and those who looked the other way and made excuses for inaction. Our Constitution is being undermined each day. Our Justice Department acts as the personal legal team for an organized criminal element occupying the White House. Once upon a time, the State of the Union was the only way that the President communicated with a majority of the country all at once. Today, our President calls into local news stations under a fake name. The President chose to litter his speech with hate, and he ranted on and on about the election and fabricated numbers. Our government only exists to extract money from the working class, and they are no longer hiding their intentions as they believe they have the technology to make your vote useless, your voice silenced, and your identity censored. There are no red or blue states. There is no black or white America. Though there is a two-tier justice system, there is only one United States of America. And though we may seem divided at times, conflict is essential to progress. We must rise to this occasion and make our descendants pride of our You got the shit from your timbers. We must rise to this occasion and make our descendants proud of our actions and make them able to thrive instead of just merely survive. Ronald Reagan said that you can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American. We're being lied to. Lied to about the, who files. Lied to about what the difference is between offensive and defensive weapons. Lied to about private equity owning property, which is causing rising housing prices. Being lied to about technologies in our skies, and being lied to about the state of our economy and our union. Our cities are being terrorized by our own government. Our justice system is two-tiered, and there's zero effort to pretend that our entire legislative system is not corrupt, occupied, and compromised by consultants, foreign lobbyists, mega corporations, and influencers. No one is illegal. Making one's very existence criminal for differing beliefs, differing shades of skin, differing customs, different dreams, and radical ideas of peace is nothing new for fascist authoritarians and dictators. But many of us expected the systems in place to function as intended, and that is exactly the case. They function for who they were designed to function for, which is not us. They function for who they were designed to function for, not us. But that is one of many of the beautiful things about this country. Systems can be replaced. New paths can be charted, new ideas can begin to form and shape a world of the future. I see us ooh, it's cold, bro. All right. I see before us two paths. One where we look to the past for comfort, nostalgia. One that rewinds the clocks on progress and individual rights and liberties are sacrificed for convenience and the illusion of security. The other is a world of empathy, of compassion. One where you can be whatever you want to be. Love whoever you want to love. And say what you want to say without fear of reprisal. Not just from your government, for the tiny tyrants that we deal with on a daily basis, the bosses, and the managers who've got something to prove about from their absentee father. And the bosses and the managers who have something to prove to their absentee fathers, who care too much about insured merchandise and corporate-owned property that doesn't even belong to them. Shit, it's cold. All right. A world with leaders who listen instead of shouting at the clouds, we all do better when we all do better. Leaders whose priority is not to the donors or the voters, but to all citizens and all who dwell within our borders. A country that once again welcomes the sick, the poor, and one where anyone can change their destiny, where the playing field is evened, and the elite are held accountable, a world that makes sense for the rest of us. Not just not a perfect world, maybe even an imperfect dream, but that's what makes us human. Our ability to love, to fight, and to forgive. This country, my home, the home of my great-grandfather and his father before him, the men who founded this country, farmers, lawyers, soldiers, the founding fathers. This country was built by slaves, natives, and immigrants who fought for freedom and livelihood that they wouldn't be granted for generations, and must still fight for to this day. This country is a country and not a business. A business functions primarily for profit. A government of the people, by the people, for the people. Foundational democratic principle famously delivered by Abraham Lincoln in the Gettysburg Address. This was the first renegotiation of the great American social contract. The people should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. Under a truly capitalist system, the risk is assumed by the capitalists. This country wasn't once upon a good old time great because of what it was or has been. This country is great, but can stand to be greater because of what it can be for all of us, for any of us who fight for what we truly believe in. The actions of this administration have only weakened us internationally, embarrassed us globally, and divided us internally. American citizens are being ripped out of their homes without due process, and killed in our streets without mercy or repercussion. It's time to renegotiate the social contract. When the leader is weak, the country is. When the leader is inept, the country is at risk. We must not mince words. There is not a civil war coming. It is already here. It is a different fight, and the fight will be waged in the streets and online, and they will try to intimidate you, and they will try to take permanent power in any way legally that they can. Bend the law a little bit at a time. As you can already see, the law only functions for some of us anyway. Despite all that, this administration is not the problem. It is a symptom, holding a black light to our society. We need to restore the American dream. One where anyone, any race, color, creed, gender, or class can even become the President of the United States. Not just the rich and the privileged. 1 year ago, my reply to the State of the Union garnered a reaction that went viral with over 1 million views. 1 year later, and 100,000 followers later, I want to reiterate my commitment to this fight. Let's start that one over. 1 year ago, my reply to the State of the Union garnered a reaction that went viral with over 1 million views. 1 year later, and 100,000 followers later, I want to reiterate my commitment to this fight by announcing casually that I, Paul Ron Cruz, am running for President of the United States in 2028. But before I do that, I got to go win a little election in Florida for the U.S. Senate here in the 2026 midterms. So thank you very much. God bless America and the United States.